In the small, sleepy town of Black Hollow, the night holds more than just silence. An entity that lurks in the shadows has turned the town into its playground, offering riddles that no one dares to answer. But those who solve them, vanish. This is the chilling story of the Shadows game. Black Hollow was a quiet place where everyone knew each other. A town where nothing ever happened, until the shadows began to move. What started as whispered rumors soon became a nightmare when people began disappearing without a trace. Now, one family, desperate for answers, is ready to confront the darkness head-on. But what they find will change everything.
Perhaps that someone is watching. It's you.
Hello?
Yes, it's Vanished Echoes, the home of mystery videos.
It began on a moonless night when a teenager named Caleb was walking home late. As he passed an alleyway, he heard a voice, soft but sharp, like a whisper cutting through the stillness. "Will you play my game?" the voice asked. Startled, Caleb looked around but saw no one. Then, from the corner of his eye, he noticed a shadow that didn't belong. It stretched unnaturally long, moving independently of any light source. Terrified, he ran home, but the voice followed, echoing in his mind. "You can't run forever." The next day, Caleb confided in his best friend, Lily, who dismissed it as a prank. But when Caleb disappeared a week later, leaving only a cryptic note that read, "I solved it," the town began to take the whispers seriously. As more people disappeared, a pattern emerged. The entity, known simply as the Shadow, seemed to target those who were alone after dark. It offered riddles, some simple, others impossibly complex. The rules were clear. Answer correctly, and you disappear. Refuse to answer, and it lingers, growing more persistent and aggressive. The riddles themselves were strange, often tied to the victim's personal life or secrets. One man, a baker, was asked, "What rises but never falls?" He answered correctly, "Dough." The next morning, he was gone, his bakery left untouched, as if he had vanished into thin air. Black Hollow became a ghost town after sunset. Families locked their doors and windows, praying the shadows wouldn't reach them. The local sheriff tried to organize patrols, but the officers were too afraid to confront what they couldn't see. Some residents left town, hoping to escape the curse. But even those who fled reported hearing whispers in the dark, as if the shadow had followed them. Black Hollow was trapped, its people living in fear of the night. The Wards, a family of 4, had lived in Black Hollow for generations. When their eldest daughter, Emma, vanished after solving a riddle, they decided enough was enough. Led by the father, James, the family resolved to confront the shadow directly and uncover the truth. James was a historian and believed the entity might be tied to the town's dark past. He uncovered records of a witch trial from the 1700s, where a woman named Eliza Moore was accused of summoning spirits. Her final words before being executed were, "The shadows will remember." Could this be the origin of the curse? One fateful night, the Wards ventured into the woods where Emma had last been seen. As they walked, the darkness seemed to close in, their flashlights barely piercing the gloom. Then, they heard it, a voice, soft and sinister. "Will you play my game?" James stepped forward. "We're not here to play. We want answers." The shadow materialized, a formless mass that flickered and writhed like smoke. "Answers have a price," it hissed. Then, it posed a riddle. "What belongs to you but others use more?" James hesitated, but his youngest son, Ben, whispered, "Our name." The shadow laughed, a sound that chilled them to the bone. "Clever," it said. But the game isn't over. The shadow revealed that it was not a single entity but a collection of trapped souls, bound to the town by Eliza Moore's curse. Each time someone solved a riddle, their soul was absorbed into the shadows, strengthening the entity. "Why do you do this?" James demanded. "To survive," the shadow replied. "We are forgotten, erased by time. But the riddles keep us alive, piece by piece." The Wards realized they had a choice. Leave and risk the shadow continuing its games, or find a way to break the curse. James proposed a dangerous plan, to challenge the shadow to its own game. James offered the shadow a deal, one final riddle. If the family solved it, the shadow would release all the souls and leave Black Hollow forever. If they failed, they would all join the entity. The shadow agreed, and the riddle was posed. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. What am I? The family deliberated, the weight of the town's fate on their shoulders. Finally, Ben whispered, "Fire." The shadow let out a deafening roar, its form twisting and breaking apart. "You have won," it said, its voice fading. But remember, darkness always returns. With the shadow gone, Black Hollow began to heal. The missing residents never returned, but their memories lived on. The wards became heroes, their bravery inspiring the town to move forward. But even as life returned to normal, James couldn't shake the shadow's final words. The shadow's game is over, for now. But what would you do if faced with an entity that knows your deepest secrets and plays games with your very soul? Would you take the risk to solve its riddles, or would you run? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more chilling stories from Vanished Echoes. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe. Outro with channel branding and eerie visuals.